I got you.
We're not quite done yet. We got one more thing for you folks. We have been doing this for so long, and we wanted to kind of share, maybe debate real quick, talk about what our top 10 matches of this Undertaker run were. So we both looked back over the whole run, analyzed it, tried to pick out what our favorites were. And we have not shared those with each other yet. We don't know what they're going to be.
Nope.
How do you want to do it? You want me to do mine? You want to do yours? You want to go back and forth? What should we do here?
We'll just alternate. Let's just alternate 10s all the way up to 1s, I guess. You want to do that?
All right.
I'll give my number 10. You give your 10. Does that make sense?
We'll
probably have some of the same ones, but we'll see how we rank them. So,
okay.
All right. So this is Travis's top 10 Talking Taker matches so far. 62. So I got my number 10 is Episode 3, Survivor Series 91 versus Hulk Hogan, his first ever WWF title win. And okay. Well, here's why. Just because, it really wasn't that great of a match, but just as far as seeing him only 1 year in, win that title and just taking it, Hogan took a bad tombstone, but seeing Hogan lay down for him, what it's going to lead to, I don't know. It was really fun to go back and revisit that, and I think that's my number 10 match of this era.
Interesting. I did not expect that one from you on your list. Very cool there. For me, definitely. I mean, that one's definitely historically important. That one did not crack my top 10. I'll go ahead and tell you.
Yeah.
So finding out now we don't have the exact same top 10. Interesting. Anyway,
nope.
My number 10
from the get-go.
Coming in at number 10 for me was the Buried Alive match versus Mankind from October 1996. In Your House, Buried Alive, and I would not have expected that when we started this podcast. I did not remember liking that one as much, but dude, that match told a great story. It was so physical. It was so much fun. The ending of it was kind of a train wreck with them, all the heels coming out and all the gaga there at the end. But I really, really enjoyed that match and enjoyed his feud with Mankind very much. So that one came in at number 10 for me, Buried Alive.
Well, yeah, that match, that's where he jumps to the outside from the top rope, I think. Taker does, and I have no clue how Mankind walks today from this, just based on this match alone. So, well, we'll see that on my list. Mine's a little higher than yours.
Okay.
So my number 9 is from our episode 40. That's In Your House, Ground Zero 97. It was Taker versus Shawn. So I love that match. It does have that. It's got that ending where Taker jumps over the shooting cow press or whatever. He jumps over onto everybody, and that's my number 9 here. So just that match. It had a kind of a schmozz ending, if I believe, or DQ or something like that. But just that match they have incredible chemistry. I love those two together. I wish we had more of it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, good stuff.
I love that match as well.
Yeah.
Number 9 for me, though, is Capital Carnage, 1998, the Fatal 4-Way, the UK pay-per-view, Undertaker versus Kane versus Mankind versus Austin. I think that one, maybe not would make a lot of people's top 10, but for me, it was so unexpectedly fun. And I think I even talked you into enjoying it. Maybe you didn't enjoy it at first watching it, but I kind of talked you into it. And yeah, that one snuck under the radar for me. So I had to put it in there. It was one of the most fun matches, one of the biggest surprises I had doing this podcast. So I had to get it in the top 10 there at number 9.
Well, that one was my other top 10, like my number 10. It was between that and Hogan that I had, and I had to just scratch that one because you're right. At first, I had to be talked in and enjoying it. I didn't really enjoy it that much. Once I saw your side of it and what you talked me into it, I really did enjoy that match. But I still think Hogan beats it out for me. But I can't say that's bad. I agree with you. That's a good match. So number 8 for me would be episode 27. We got In Your House 11, Buried Alive. So there you go.
Okay.
I just ranked mine a little bit higher than you did. So yeah, we don't need to discuss that one again. So
number 8 for me was, I went back into the early years here. with WrestleMania 8, Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts. I believe that was
Well,
episode
well,
5
well.
for us.
Yeah.
Again, I think I've referenced this match quite a bit on here. It's only about 5 minutes. They
Yeah.
only do maybe 3 or 4 wrestling moves in this match, but the presence of these guys and the story that they tell with limited action, but just with their
True.
actions themselves and their characters, I thought it was an incredible piece of work, and I really enjoyed it. And so that one made my top 10.
Well, there you go, man. Well, that is a great one. I just completely overlooked that. Honestly, that's not on mine at all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it is good. My number 7 is going to be our episode 21, which is WrestleMania 12, Taker versus Diesel.
Yeah.
I love this match.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I remember saying that this was a one-off, man. Like I remember us both saying we wish we saw more of this stuff because it was fun, man. These two big guys that can actually work a little bit. I mean, Diesel's a little more limited than Taker's, but I really enjoyed the heck out of this. Way more. Maybe I enjoyed it more than I thought I was. So I just remembered fond memories of this match. As I got it ranked at number 7.
That's cool, man. That one did not make my list, but it was right at the periphery.
Really?
Yeah, it's right, like
okay.
maybe 13, 12, 11, somewhere in
Okay.
that range. It was in contention, but it didn't quite make it in there for me, but I did enjoy that. Yeah, I'm okay with that call on yours. Number 7 for me is my first appearance of Bret Hart on this top 10, SummerSlam 97 versus Bret Hart. Really loved the chemistry that these guys had. I thought all 3 of their matches were incredible. I will say not all 3 made my top 10, but 2 of them did. And the first one is SummerSlam 1997.
Very interesting there, dude, because 2 of theirs make mine as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings me to my number 6, which is Royal Rumble 96, Bret versus Taker for the title.
Ah.
So, yeah, I have – so you – okay. Well, all right. Well, so – all right. Well, I won't spoil anything, but still, yeah, I got Royal Rumble ranked here at 6. And
Fair enough.
Spoiler alert, the SummerSlam one will come a little bit later on. So I guess I put it a little bit higher regard than you did here. So interesting. But, yeah, you can't really go – you can mix and match all 3 of their matches we covered.
Yes.
They're pretty good. It's nitpicking as far as which one's better. So, I can't disagree with you there. It's a great match, and like I said, that leads me to my number 6, which is episode 20, Royal Rumble 96, him versus Bret. So,
that was a real coming out party for Undertaker, right?
Yeah,
there.
he wrestled.
To see that very, very cool match. Number 6 for me was Royal Rumble 1998, the casket match against Shawn Michaels. I've got that in there. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels' feud is incredible. Some of the best matches Undertaker ever had. So many memorable moments in there. I thought that was a great way to close things out. It was maybe my favorite feud that we got to see during this run was stuff with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. They just had such intensity with each other, such chemistry with each other. So I've got the casket match in there at number 6.
Wow, that doesn't even crack mine, man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I can't disagree with that, man. That one was up there. It was going back. Those number 9 and 10 spots that one was on there. I will tell you that. But I had to cut several off to make sure. But there's some other ones I just had Shawn, and I honestly, you could have the top 10 to be just Shawn and Bret matches with Taker. Honestly, if you so it's hard. But yeah, that's good stuff, man. That is a great match, and that match was better than I remember when we went back and covered it.
It was. Yeah.
It was a fun match. So, well, that's my number 5. We're hitting the top 5 territory here, which is episode 47, King of the Ring 98, Taker vs. Mankind for the most infamous Hell in a Cell of all time. So, again, basically a squash match as we recorded, as we talked about. We did the watch along, but I think just for the iconicness of it, whatever that word is I'm missing there, but just how infamous and famous this match is, I had to put that in my top 5. So
I'm going to piss a lot of people off here, of our listeners. That match, not in my top 10.
Dude, I understand.
It's incredible spectacle, and I'm not disrespecting anybody that loves it or thinks it's their favorite Undertaker match. To me, going back and watching it, of course, the spots are incredible and amazing, but I think we talked about on there. For me, that's all it is. Like once they get in the
true.
ring, it's basically an Undertaker squash, and against a guy who can't who can barely function.
He's about to die.
And I don't know, man. It just doesn't. It's not my favorite. I love parts about it, but I couldn't put it in there. It's not one of my favorite Undertaker matches. So I wasn't sure if you were going to put it in there or not. So that's interesting. Number 5. Number 5 for me, you mentioned it already, Ground Zero versus Shawn Michaels. So 2 Shawn Michaels matches in a row for me right there. That's, such a cool angle, such a cool fight with those guys. That spot with Undertaker jumping over the top at the end, the whole story with them beating up all the referees.
Yeah.
Oh, man. One of the most fun matches we got to cover here on this show.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think I'd ever seen it before we covered it, too. It was just so good, man. I loved it. So, good stuff. Yeah, well, my number 4, man, is episode 61 from the SummerSlam 99. We just covered it last week, man. Taker Big Show versus Kane X-Pac.
Whoa.
I got it at number 4, dude.
Number 4.
It was so fun. And maybe it's because it's fresh in my mind. I don't know. If I went and did this in 10 weeks, I might not have it ranked that high. But, dude, I love that match.
Wow. That's the first one that shocked me. It's
a 12-minute sprint, dude.
It
was awesome. There was nonstop action.
It's probably in my top 15. It did not crack my top 10, but wow, that's high.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is my second appearance of Mankind, or third. I guess he was in that Fatal 4-Way. So King of the Ring 96 versus Mankind. That's the one, some people...
Yep.
And you included, you want King of the Ring 98, Hell in a Cell? You want to go back and rewatch that? I want to rewatch 96 versus Mankind. Their first match with each other. Chemistry was off the charts. One. Really, really enjoyed that one. So that's number 4 for me.
Yeah, just impeccable chemistry from Jump Street. It's ridiculous. So good, man.
All right, top 3.
All right, man. Top 3. My number 3 match is episode 39 from the SummerSlam 97. Taker versus Bret Hart for the title. Like you said, just one of the best finishes in history of any match I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
I cannot put over the finish that match. Again, the technical aspect is great. I think you could interchange, like I said, any of these Bret Taker matches, but this one is up there as the best for me just because of that finish. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it's my number 3, man.
My number 3 also involves Bret Hart, but I'm going to go with One Night Only versus Bret Hart from 1997. Yeah. I thought that was their best match. I thought it played off their other stuff. Yes, SummerSlam has the better finish. Royal Rumble is cool because it, like I said, it's Undertaker's coming out party, but I thought just they had so much time on One Night Only. And
they did.
It's got a weak finish, that's for sure, but I enjoy that match.
That was that weird DQ type thing. Yeah.
But I love that match the most out of their trio. And I'm going to be shocked if we don't have the same top 2 here. I don't know what order they're going to be
I think we do.
But I feel like we got to have the same top 2 here.
We've got 2 glaring omissions that I know we both love, and so I think that my number 2 is episode 32, In Your House Final 4. Mm-hmm. Taker, Vader, Austin, and Bret. Is that what you got too?
That's my number 2. Yep.
All right, yep. There, I had a feeling our top 2 or 3 would be the same. So, yeah, man, I can't put that match over enough. That is the most bonkers 4-way I've ever seen. It's so good. Talk about nonstop action. Everything meant something. It's strong style. It's great, dude. Great stuff.
I couldn't put it as number 1. I
nope.
had it at number 1 for a second, but I'm like, it's just not. Undertaker gets eliminated halfway through it. He's not there at the. It's just it's awesome. It's incredible.
It is.
I encourage everybody to go check it out, and it's top 10, top 2 for me. But I think number 1 has to be number 1.
Number 1, so why don't you go ahead and say it then, since you didn't get to say your number 2, since I stole that thunder.
That's
so number 1 is the same for both of us.
It is Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez at SummerSlam 19. No, of course. Bad Blood, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell. The best, still to this day, Hell in a Cell match. The peak of their feud. Incredible storytelling. All the blood, all the spots, the debut of Kane, everything. Just, the best.
The
best
table
match
bump nobody talks
the
about.
Table bump. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's it's still one of my favorite matches. It goes back and forth between what else I don't know, but that one's always up there. My favorite matches of all time. I just love that match. It's so good. Yeah, it had to be number one. It was de facto. That one was no debate about. That was number one. Everything from 2 to 10 was debated, and I sat and went back and forth. But I think it's great that our number one's the same. Everything else, I'm honestly shocked at how different ours were.
Me too. Yeah.
Honestly,
Me too.
yeah, it's funny how different they were. But yeah, number one is number one. And if you disagree, I got 2 words for you. I'm just kidding.